Ever since I was in middle school, I always loved art, so I thought moving to New York was the best way to pursue my career. It was hard at first, but I grew up with very little food and clothing, so it wasn't hard for me to support myself on very little. Well, we have different perspectives on life, and even though because of that they are still my parents and they did try to provide for me when I was little, so I will always love them and do as much as I can to help them. I was never really mad at them, and since I am the oldest sibling, I always had to protect my younger siblings. One time when we lived in Welch, I think, there was this boy that was harassing Jeanette, and so I had to go upstairs and get my dad's gun that he hid in his room and like scare him off to protect my siblings. Not really anymore. I have a very busy life, but sometimes in New York I do see them living on the streets, and I don't really talk to them that much, but yeah, we don't really have a connection anymore. I think it was good that Jeanette told her story. I think our perspectives on some of the parts were very different. However, I do think it was a really good decision for her to publish our story because a lot of people should know about the less fortunate. Yes, I really enjoy living in New York. I have an apartment where I live by myself currently, and it's really nice. I never knew how much I enjoyed being by myself until I moved here when I was completely alone, and I really enjoy it. Everyone's really nice here. Well, ever since I was little, we were always moving around, so I had no control over where we were or my life, really. So whenever I was painting or drawing, I had control over something, and that made me feel really good about myself, so I thought I'd just continue.
So when I lived in Welch, I think I had it easier than my siblings did, although it was like a really hard life, but I had it easier because I got all the food and water and stuff. But when I moved to New York, that's when I had to like make a living for myself, so that's when I got involved with the wrong people. So I think California has helped me like start over and make a new life for myself. I kind of did think of running away when I was little because my dad was always drunk and my mom couldn't take care of us, and it was kind of like a toxic environment. So whenever I went to my friend's house, I tried to stay there as long as I could so I could be safe and have food and water. So I did think of running away once in a while. Well, my mom was the one who cared for us mostly, but even then she didn't take care of us most of the time because she kept thinking of herself. She wanted to buy art supplies rather than give us food. My dad was the one who mostly did the jobs, but they were very sketchy jobs, and he was most of the time being drunk or stuff like that. So yeah, that's my parents for ya. Well, I think in some way my dad had power over my mom because he was the one who did all the jobs, so he got all the money and did everything for the family. So in a way, if she left him, she was left with nothing because she wanted, you know, art supplies and stuff to do her own thing. So she needed money for that, and that's what our dad provided. So in a way, she didn't want to leave because of all the benefits. I'm still planning on what I want to do with my life, but right now I'm doing odd jobs like here and there. And I have a small apartment, and California is really beautiful. It has like really beautiful places to go to and stuff, but I feel like in a way California was the destination that I needed to go to feel better about myself. So I feel like New York was more of like a stepping stone to me because it helped me try to become more independent and rely on myself rather than others, because when I was in Welch I used to always, you know, ask my friends for food and stuff, and I feel like moving to New York helped me become independent, and I feel like me and my siblings got closer by moving to New York because we all had to live in a small house. So yeah, it was a good place for a while, but California is my
her home place to be.
like, we were close in Welch in a different way than we were close in New York. In Welch, we kind of looked out for each other and tried to protect each other because that was our only way of surviving. But in New York, we kind of got to know each other better, like personality-wise and stuff like that. So it was a different way, but when I moved to California, it was kind of hard to keep in touch with them since it's so far away. But they come and visit all the time, and I try to go whenever I can. So. Well, I mean, I don't remember a lot of it since I was so young, but from what my siblings told me, it was hard because we had to live on such a small budget, and we didn't always have the food and money to keep me a well-nourished baby. In a way, I feel like the institution has helped me because before the institution, I kind of was in a bad place because of the way I lived and my family and stuff. So after the institution, it kind of gave me time to know myself and improve myself. So it has helped me a lot. Well, when I was, I think around 7, right before my 7th birthday, my siblings tried to save up as much money as they could to get me a gift. And I don't really remember the gift, but I remember it wasn't that extravagant, but just the thought that they tried to get me a gift meant a lot to me.